All right. Well, we were almost on time.
No, we're still on time. We're still on time.
Kind of.
We're almost early, actually. Like,
Oh yeah,
if we
definitely.
appeared early,
I
I
cannot
think
believe
just
that happened, but I also. Which one said on time? Because I'm gonna blame you.
I think it was all of us.
How dare
I
You
you?
can't
said
blame
don't
all of
say
us.
it because you're
I
jinxing it.
will take. I will take the blame on that one. I was the one who said I initially ended it in a question. I was like, "Wait, on time?"
Well,
I stayed in my fucking lane. I didn't expect anything of us.
Oh
no.
yeah.
I said early. I guess I am the not the victim. I'm sorry. I am the
The
culprit.
perpetrator.
I am the culprit and the victim. I can play both.
We're also shocked that we're on time. That you hit the wrong button.
I. What the f?
Yes, let's blame him. He's the problem.
Oh yeah, that's definitely. What the fuck?
Don't
It's all
blame
the
Joe. He's
GM's
gonna
fault.
kill you.
Oh my
Don't blame
god.
Joe. You're in a dangerous situation right
Actually,
now. Little.
It's
You forget that I have no self-preservation.
this is OBS.
I know. That's why I'm doing it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, is OBS not working?
No, OBS is working. It's just my hotkeys got reset. The hell?
Oh.
Oh god,
Lame.
that's so bad.
So it was the right button. OBS was just like, "Psych."
All right. Well, it's all
We
fixed
saw
now.
you had the right button.
Fucking you thought.
Okay, I fixed it. Everything's fine.
Science.
Hi everyone. We kind of almost were on track.
Yeah, we're good. I say we're good.
Yeah, we'll go with we'll go
We're
with
within
that.
10 minutes. We're fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. And when we come back from break, I'll fuck that up too. But right before we get into anything, before we dive into more high stress situations, is there any plugs or promotions that need to happen?
Hi, I'm Slay, Sons of Warman on Twitter. I'm a TTRPG performer. That's it for me.
I'll go. Hi there, I am Silver Sugar, aka Risa, and you can find me here on Twitch and YouTube. You'll have to find my link to YouTube because I don't get a fancy name like everybody else yet. But yeah, it would mean a lot if you guys would check out my channel. I've been doing a lot of art, time lapses, and all that jazz. Also playing through Super Mario RPG right now, which has been so much fun. And I am going to be closed for commissions for at least a good solid week and a half because I'm having eye surgery on Monday.
Oh, good luck to you with that.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, so if any peeps want to reserve a slot, you can do that. But otherwise, I'm closed for now. But yeah, that's all for me.
All right, it's me, Little Legend, and the victim for tonight. Oh, yeah, let's get those applause rolling. Anyway,
I love you, Little.
oh, you better, because even if you hate me, I will not go away. So I you might already know that I draw, and I am too lazy to make a YouTube account. Maybe at some point, actually, in summer. Anyway, but I have a Tumblr, which is more active than ever before because I have a tablet now, and I'm learning how to use it properly. So please go to Little Legend Arts, which is on Tumblr, and commission me something, please. Money, please. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'm gonna give the word to the next person.
I believe everyone else sensibly does not have that much of an online presence.
I've been thinking about making a YouTube.
I feel like that's a shot. That's a shot at us, Joe, and I present it.
What? Me? Never. But yes, announcements
This is a
here.
lie.
The application ended a little sooner for the Quintella Obscura Circle of Briar and Blood, so it is officially now underway. I will be meeting the cast on the 1st of April to do a little session 0, so that is already getting there. And then mid to late April, session 1 should be out, hopefully. But aside from that, I am going to try my damnedest to get the last 3 episodes of Starbright Fantasy out sometime this week. Hopefully that'll happen. But YouTube upload speeds can be
What a heckin' mood there.
a time. But as always, again, if we hit a 50 follower mark, I will run a Lower Decks 2-shot in which we will get nothing done as per the way Lower Decks works, and it will just be a bunch of morons doing stupid things in a most chaotic fashion, because that is how that works.
Chat, please. I want it so badly. Please.
Yes, please. Please.
But just to encourage that, just so people are aware, we are 11 away from that, so we're not that far away from it. So if there are people that are watching, and if you are watching via YouTube or something, please consider following us, because we would appreciate that. But with all that said and done, I believe we can jump into the game, and I'm going to press the hotkey that I have now fixed, and it should switch us to the intro.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah.
welcome back. I am
We're
terrified.
thirsty. We're hungry. We're
I'm out of water.
starving.
Joe is surprised that we have this energy. He shouldn't be at this point, but he is.
Listen,
He's so cute and naive. Look
I
at
dropped my
him.
favorite word.
You can be surprised at the same thing by feigning ignorance.
So cute, so delightful.
But anyways, during the last episode, the team from the Madrid field office went to a outpost where the information that had been leaked had been mostly gathered and was being retrieved. Upon arriving, they arrived at a set of disaster as the star was in the process of going into a supernova event, artificially created. We do know that it came from, or at least the materials to cause it came from, the Vulcan Science Institute. However, during these attempts, through some impressive flying, some risky rescued maneuvers, and a trolley problem, Lieutenant Lorriss chose to get 2 ensigns out of the way of harm, basically sacrificing their ride out of this planet. There were, with emotions set and tensions high,
I admit nothing.
you don't have to. But as that was all happening and chaos was ensuing in high orbit, down planet side, Ensign Lorriss and 2 of the ensigns noticed that there had been a ship that had landed. A group of Cestus mercenaries, presumably to collect what they assumed to be the intelligence data hired by some form of power. And deciding to do probably one of the most risky things and is gonna full-on diehard it, I guess. Is going to make their way towards the ship, as that is probably one of their tickets off. That's what we're picking up. Now, for you and Lieutenant Lorriss, the Cestus mercenaries, you don't know a ton about Cestus, but you do know they are they're telepathic in some capacity. They are fairly strong, and they must be fairly confident in their abilities, because this planet is dying, and they are willing to come here anyways. You know of there are at least 4 to 5 of them on the ground. However, with the size of the vessel, it is not unreasonable to assume there might be maybe 3 or 4 more aboard the vessel as more of a operating crew.
Question. Telepathic. Do we mean that they can telepathically communicate with each other, or just read your thoughts? Or both?
Little of both. But it's not as extreme as certain species, but it is they won't be able to really detect your thoughts unless they have a little bit more time to understand you, but they might be able to detect intention. So just as you're going through, the closer you get to them, it could act as like a tiny bit of like a radar sweep. Like they might know you. They won't know your exact position, but they'll know you nearby.
Oh, cool. That's great. That's grand.
But as you left the cave, I believe, to do this, just so we are clear on the stakes here, there are 4 to 5 of them that you visibly can see. This carrier craft or stealth vessel, you can assume probably, just with the size of it, 4 to 5 is not enough for this ship to run effectively. So you can assume safely that there are 3 or 4 more inside the ship. On top of that, disruptors do not have a stun setting. So whether you choose, and this is protocol for you that you don't usually get to exercise, and also because you are a medic, you generally don't exercise this. But because you are the highest ranking officer of this group, you will get to make the decision of whether or not you get to use lethal or non-lethal force. Just understand that they do not care about lethal or non-lethal force. They will just shoot.
Alright. So, considering the situation, this is the moment when Myra's kind of old, not exactly forgotten, but very much repressed instincts from her really distant past are coming back. So from the times when she used to fight in arenas, when she was a fighter, when she survived quite a few death matches on her own, and she kind of has her how do I say it, experience with death with others. As much as she would feel kind of bad now, since she is a medic, this is the point when it's kill or be killed.
Very much so.
Indeed. So she doesn't feel much remorse as she switches her gun to the lethal mode and, well, continues her way forward.
All right.
So, yeah, she's trying to be as stealthy as possible. And with the training that she had while, doing her thing, she learned to kind of hide her murderous intent. Not like, like a ninja or anything, but it's a certain technique. Call it breathing, call it like meditation, but she knows how to calm herself down a little bit in this case.
Okay.
She doesn't do it often anymore because, well, she likes to express her feelings and emotions, but, since this is the situation, she has to be calm and quiet.
All right. As you are moving outwards, there is a kind of color flare from the sky, as almost you can see overhead this kind of outward stretched mote of flame go across the sky as the star itself is beginning to definitely hit that moment of destabilization, and then it almost pulls back, as if for whatever reason it has stabilized a little bit. Not by much, but it has stabilized a little bit. And overhead, the debris from the just trash of space and satellites, because, fun fact, when you launch satellites and crap into space, it will eventually come back down. Is coming down like just rains of embers and just pelting into the side. You are luckily in sort of like this cliff and caverns area, so it's only pelting sort of at the top, but you are like dust and smoke is being kicked up, and this impact is almost burned into the side of the stone. And as you continue moving forward,
Wait, quick thing. As she does continue, but since there is a lot of dust, fire, we have a lot of how do I say it, smoke, right?
mm-hmm.
She is gonna tear her sleeve off and wrap it around her face. A makeshift mask of sorts. It's not like too much help, but it's needed for her not to cough.
Yeah, that is a smart way of going about it. Okay, here is what is going to happen, because you can see, because of the way the lighting has hit and the kind of almost silhouette of this dust and smoke, you can see the silhouette of a Kazinthy that about to round the corner. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you, depending on how you want to go about this, you can either do, if you want to just jump at this person and try and just take them down as fast as humanly possible, you can do a daring security roll. Or, if you want to be a little bit more calculated about it, especially if you're using the phaser or your firearm, you can do a control security. Or, if you really want to do something ridiculously risky, but something you yourself are somewhat proficient in, is fitness security. You can do any of those three blends, and I will also extend an offer here. You can choose to roll as is, and complications will come up as they will. Or you can choose to roll that, and we will negate any 20s that come up as complications for you, and we can instead trade in a thing that will be treated as a complication for both parties. So it is both negative and beneficial.
Good in this kind of stuff. Oh god, okay, this is not good actually. So, alright, I'm very sorry. might need a little bit of more information. So I can either jump the guy and, I don't know, subdue him that way. I can shoot him, or what else exactly?
Or you could try and go for like a more non-lethal stroke. I think we've already determined you're more going for lethal, but the non-lethal stroke is more of a fitness security because you're going to basically try and overpower and knock this person out. That's one of the options.
One last question I have is if how far from like the others is that person? If we struggle, will they hear us?
There's a lot happening. But if you do this quickly, there is a chance that there will be no notice. But there's no promise of that. However,
Don't forget they're also telepathic.
yes.
So it might not even matter if they're in auditory hearing range.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, for now, since we have a little bit of range and we need to deal with this quickly, I'm going to shoot him.
Okay. Then that's gonna be
like somewhere. No. Let's just shoot him and see where it goes.
Okay. This is gonna be control security roll, and this is going to be a difficulty of 2.
Okay, let's go.
And I will be spending early on 3 points of threat.
Oh, look, 1 and 14. I got anything. Did I get anything good for rolling 1?
Yep, 1 is a critical success. So,
Yeah.
that is enough, and you have switched to lethal. So we are actually not going to be rolling any sort of damage for it because he has no reason. This individual has no reason to suspect that you are armed with lethal force, and instead there is, as it turns the corner and raises the disruptor, this Kazinthi is ready. And there was no hesitation once they saw you at the corner. You, however, were already taking aim, and as you fire your phaser, as this sort of red-orange pulse hits, there is a form that turns to ash, and there's just a ashy shadow against the back of the stone.
Alright.
1 down. Come on, you can do this.
Yeah, we can do it. Alright, so yeah, that's great. That's good that it happens. Let's keep going.
Okay, as you move forward again, you have to keep your footing a little bit as the planet seems to almost rumble in protest at everything that is happening. The heavy heat that's cast off from the star is definitely being affected. The atmosphere is being affected. And now you are presented with a new problem. Because whereas one pushed ahead by themselves, there are now 2. And I need you to figure out, like, because they are 2 and they are also somewhat opposite of each other. As they are
they back to back?
They are not back to back. They are basically ahead of you, left and right, and they are looking. They actually are moving at enough of a pace. This is something you will note, is they are moving a little bit more hurriedly now, as if something has agitated them and have run into you. There are 2 of them. They are raised and they are ready to fire. How are you going to go about this? Because they are. You have a phaser, but they have disruptor rifles, and those to not use the cliche, but their gun is most definitely bigger than yours.
Okay, quick question. The rifles,
Mhm.
can they shoot through a person?
They can, but they're more likely just to vaporize.
All right, good thing. So what we're gonna do, so they are like not too far from each other, right?
They're not too far from each other. They're probably about 20 feet apart from each other, but that's already enough distance to where I'm letting you choose how you wish to react before we go into this next sort of confrontation. Because however you react is going to determine kind of how things are about to unfold.
All right. So we're gonna try this little situation. Oh, and last thing, I'm sorry. How far are they from the ship?
They're actually pretty far away from the vessel because they've pushed in quite a bit. They are exterior to kind of everything that's happening. They are near the cliffside. They're not quite in it, and the ensign only kind of saw the barest hints of it. But they are probably about, I would say, 100 meters away
Mm-hmm.
from the
Mm-hmm.
vessel. So it's not. It's a impressive distance, but it's not a super long distance either.
Okay, that's far enough, I guess. So what I'm gonna try to do, since we're doing Die Hard, what Mira's gonna do is she's gonna jump forward. She's gonna try and grab onto one of the guys, right?
Okay.
And she's gonna turn around and use him as a shield, basically.
Oh my
Make sure to
god.
like make sure to like grab his hand, the one with the rifle, and fixate it. Yeah, right. So
Yep.
wait, actually, 1 second. The guy she killed before, did he have a rifle?
He was holding on to it. It got full on vaporized.
Ah, shit. Could have gotten a better weapon. Well, that's my fault. I was not very forward looking. Anyway, what she's gonna do is she use him as a shield. Make sure he drops. That's me. That's sorry. I'm really nervous. Make sure he drops the rifle, right? And so even if the other shoots, he will shoot his teammate, and if he doesn't, she's gonna shoot the other guy.
Okay. You are dashing forward for this, so let me see what applies here. This is going to be fitness security because you have to close the distance really fast. And this is going to be a difficulty of 3.
Okay. Let's go for it. Oh shit. That's not great. 17 and 15, but my fitness is 11. You said fitness security.
Yes. So what? So what was the 2 rolls?
17, 15. Math. Fitness 11. So it's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need to hit 14 or below to be able to do this, and you have to hit it 3 times.
Well, 3 times. Okay.
That's
great.
But that's what the difficulty of 3 is. So that's what that roll was for. So I think you only got 1 success out of that.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so here's what is going to happen. You are going to get closer. You will close the distance to some degree. But you are going to feel a absolute burning sensation in the back of your left calf as a disruptor blast just grazes past and burns and instantly almost cauterizes some of the flesh behind there. This is something that has happened now, Lorriss, where For Myra, this is probably one of the worst things that has happened. You have closed the distance, but at sort of a cost to yourself. And you are close enough to where they're probably not going to fire on you. However, both of them do draw fairly large-looking daggers or blades. And you are going to be pitched in here to a 2-on-1 fight.
So, can do this.
So they are actually going to let me check really quick here. This is one of the few times I actually do have to roll.
Look at that.
That's not good. That's a bad side. Do we want you to roll bad or good?
Listen, I have surrendered my fate.
No, keep fighting. Stay with us.
Okay, as one of them swings, one of them does. You are able to kind of move to the side a little bit, but you do feel a cut against, like, right under your kind of eye and left cheek, as you kind of feel the blade, and you can almost feel the kind of instant warm sensation as a little bit of blood begins dripping down onto that. The other one doesn't. You are too close to this person for them to get an accurate stab off, so they are actually just going to more or less run at you and try and kick you into the ground. That is a full-on complication twice. So as they do that, you're able to almost just quickly step, and it might even just because you're reeling from the pain that you moved out of the way a little bit before they kind of miss and skid and skid past you and turn around. They are now front to back to you. You are in between them. This is your chance to move and figure out how you want to get out of this situation.
All right. First of all, quick question: which eye are we talking about?
It would be your left. It's not. It doesn't strike your eye, but it's right underneath it.
Yeah, just cybernetic eye on the right there. So there was a question of how that would affect everything. All right. So okay. I still they both have knives.
They do have knives. They have let their disruptor rifles sling to the side. They are kind of put on slings, because they have favored knives because this is more close quarter, and they are a somewhat battle-born species, so they are up for this. And they also know tactically this close range with disruptor, they're more at risk of hitting each other, even if it does.
Okay. Let's see. From this point, I can probably try and. There's still dust all around, no?
There is dust all around, yeah, and the pelting of like debris and hitting and kicking up bits of dust. It's not like huge clouds all the time, but there is dust that kicks up.
Then we're gonna try and kick up some more. I'm gonna kick up as much dust as I can to make sure that the vision is blocked, and I will try and do like a slip right to how do I say it, to get to their blind spots right on the back.
Yep.
And then shoot probably at least at one of them. You see how that goes.
Okay. This is going to be fitness security. You have done a little bit of obscurity, so this is going to be a difficulty of 2.
All right. 10 and 9.
10 and 9. Oh my god, okay.
What?
Yeah, you did it.
Oh, hellfire, yeah.
And you're able to kind of get to the blind spot. This has happened so fast, and they are moving, trying to push this dust out of their way. And because they are somewhat telepaths, they do kind of are vaguely aware of, or rather, they would be somewhat vaguely aware of your presence. However, this is where you have a slight advantage over them, even if they're telepathic, to some variation. Their telepathy is great at detecting things. It's kind of a curse if you're really close to them. So they don't have an accurate gauge of where you are. So I'm going to rule here that because of how this is set, you're actually going to be able to take, like, one extra move over them.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So I basically managed to get behind their backs.
Yep.
Okay. Can I do anything else, or
Yeah,
is
go
it
for
their
it.
turn?
No,
All
go
right.
for it.
Fuck him up.
Okay, to people who are calling me backstabber, I would like you all to know that I am just good, and if you don't have eyes on the back of your head, then you're just a loser. That's it. That's kind of it.
Literally
Ooh.
just said skill issue.
Skill issue.
Get good, casuals.
If you want clout,
GG.
Dr. Atherton, tell her all about this.
Okay. We're gonna shoot at the guy who is, let's say, closer to us.
Okay. Not even gonna make you do any sort of rolls for that, because you will just
Oh,
simply
fucking yeah.
press the disruptor rifle into the back, and they disappear very quickly. It is like having, it's like ash being kicked up in a bonfire, as they kind of turn that sort of color, and then it does smell really bad, though. It does immediately smell like hot, kind of dry
Shit.
heated blood and burnt hair. The other one.
This is why we wear a mask. This is why we put on a mask. Exactly. Sorry, continue.
Then the other one. Here's what we're gonna do for this one here, Lieutenant Lorriss. You are going to you're gonna roll a control and security check here. And I am going to roll a daring security check. And you may utilize any advantage you think might help.
Mm-hmm.
But you have fired at this one and vaporized them from existence. The next one is turning around, and there is, with all of the stuff happening throughout this whole planet and everything going above and below and these colonies, this moment almost freezes, as you can almost hear every whizzing piece of spatial debris, every crack or every explosion or kick up of dust, and it all almost freezes into a moment as this second Kzinthi turns and your eyes meet, and both of you move to pull a trigger. So, roll your...
No way.
This is control and security, because you have control of the situation, so you should be able to... and
Do you have a value you can spend for this?
Hey,
Or
what?
focus.
Let me look here for you.
Please do.
I would think you would. I would hope.
A value that could apply here is...
Oh, there we go. I do have values, but I'm not sure how it works.
It's basically going to give you a success.
2 successes.
2 successes, yeah. But you might want to burn one, because this is going to be a difficulty of 3. But I think the two that probably actually apply here, because you are doing this to protect these two incidents, so protecting the patient is more important than self-defense. That definitely can work. We could swing it that way. The other one is sometimes it's better to punch first. Both of those will apply.
Yeah, sometimes better to punch first is the one that I feel like works best in this situation. I mean, yes, she does. She's protecting, but she does want to survive to protect them, to
Okay.
keep that rolling,
All
so
right,
to
so
say.
you have 2 successes then. It is still a difficulty of 3, so you still need to roll here. But
Okay, I'm still rolling 2d20, correct?
yep, correct.
All right, let's give this a shot. Oh, yo, I got 2 and 20.
Okay, so
Oh.
this is going to be
That's 4
trade.
successes, so we get a momentum.
You do get momentum. But there is going to be there is a little bit of a trade-off happening here.
Complication.
The complication is going to be you fire definitely a hair trigger faster than this person. However, they do still get their shot off. And as you fire, they immediately just disappear. But you are actually going to take 4 points of stress because the other arm in which you have not torn your sleeve off is entirely burned off, and so are a couple of layers of skin because the disruptor did scrape against you.
Ah, fucking fuck.
Ouch.
She kind of like bites onto the mask. See another way, another good fucking, how do I say it, application of the mask. She bites onto it so not to scream because that hurts like a motherfucker. Pardon my French, of course, but and quick question, since I vaporized both of them, all their weapons are gone as well, correct?
Except the one that you are holding on to, because you did end up,
Yeah.
because now you have access to your phaser, but you also acquisitioned by sneaking up and pressing the barrel behind them. You do have a disruptor rifle now, which
A
technically,
bigger gun!
under Federation law, illegal. During such a strenuous situation, you don't care.
Just got my arm burned off. I'm not, I mean, like, they can put me on the tribunal, but I've already killed 3 people. Let's fucking go!
And definitely with that sort of burning sensation on your calf and that pain, you are still moving forward, but I am curious, are you going to temper your pace or are you going to speed up a little bit more?
So, before I answer you, how many are there still around the ship?
You're not entirely sure, but the last you remember physically seeing, there were 4. You have dealt with 3.
Alright, okay. Alright. Let me see. I guess it's better to quicken up the pace before the adrenaline wears off.
Okay.
Right now, it's probably shooting all the way. So let's get this over with before I can like feel that pain entirely. She's still biting onto that mask. She's breathing heavily, and it is a little bit hard for her to move, but she's still like being propelled forward, and that's why she's like trying to be as fast as possible.
As you move forward, picking up the pace and moving through, and kind of quickly weaving, and the air just stinging against your now open wounds. It's almost, if it was almost cool air, it would almost be more of a relief, but because the air is hot and dry almost, it is just it's hot. Like every swing of the arm for running, you're letting fresh air breeze past it, and it is pretty painful. But as you do that, you feel a huge strike underneath your right side as you kind of go pushed and kind of tumbling a little bit, as there is a fairly large Kzinthi, and you don't need to know too much about Kzinthi rank to know that the way they carry themselves, this is probably someone in a leadership position, maybe a lieutenant or a commander, but someone definitely who has way more training than the other two.
Mm-hmm. Quick question. If we does she know if they are like, how do I say it correctly? If she would take a hostage, would that work?
In most cases, maybe not. This is someone in a more command track, and it depends on how prideful this person is. There is a lot of decisions that you could make for that. There's no promise, because there's two ways that could go about. Either they will respect this person enough and they will back down, or they will see it as an opportunity to eliminate potential rivals for climbing up in a command track. So you have no real way of gauging it other than to try it.
Yeah, we're not gonna try and like die to raise some idiot's rank. Let's go. We're gonna try and fight him, I guess. Even if he hit me where and how specifically?
It was kind of like just almost a sucker punch under the rib as you kind of got skid and like tumbled. You managed to get your footing again, but it is you definitely felt that. You don't feel like you've suffered any like damage that would constitute stress, but you did feel like a cracking sensation. And then as you kind of get ready for what I assume is to be more of a physical fight, unless I'm misinterpreting this wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you repeat the last sentence? You kind of broke off for a little bit.
Are you taking this person on in more of a hand-to-hand capacity, or are you just gonna try and drop them as quickly as possible?
I mean, as much as she would actually kind of want to fight him, how I say it, hand to hand properly, her hand is pretty burnt off and it is hurting a lot. So the honor and the stuff is not important. She is currently on her last ropes. Gotta finish this quickly.
Okay.
And since we have a bigger gun now, we can use that.
All right.
Wait. No, that should work.
All right. That is going to be. He is full on gonna charge you, so this is going to be a daring security roll, because it is going to be one of those things where they are going to rush you to try and namely take that thing away from you, because they do know how much of a danger that is. So you have to. This is again going to be a difficulty of 3, and they are charging you, and I will tell you full stop. If you do not succeed on this, that disruptor rifle is probably getting knocked out of your hand and sliding somewhere out of reach.
Oh, I just
You
got
have
it.
one momentum to spend if you want to spend it.
I might have to. Yeah, this one seems to be the big boss. So we're gonna. If I don't roll, I'm gonna spend that one momentum probably.
Sounds good.
Oh, fucking god. Okay, let's go.
That's a third die you can add to your
Oh,
d20s.
actually, wait. It's 3 and 13.
Okay. So this was a difficulty 3, so that's
Mhm.
1 success only.
Chekhov's gun or whatever.
So you can spend that momentum and get that extra d20 roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that
Question:
actually.
do you have a focus in fighting, some sort of fighting, and is that 3 in your security?
There is no focuses in fighting that I can see here.
Okay,
Yeah.
trying to help.
No. Thank you very much. I knew that I spent a lot of my attributes and all the other kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just and then I just put all of my focuses on the medicine because otherwise I would be pretty fucking useless as a medic. Yeah. Okay. Let's get that D20. Nah. 15.
15. Okay. As it rush, you raise the gun. However, they are quicker than than you're probably even ready for, as it's batted aside as 2 shots go wild into the air, and the disruptor goes sliding across these caverns and caves and cliff sides, and a sort of clawed hand comes up and moves upwards, and I do believe... okay. Does strike you, but doesn't do that much. I say doesn't do that much. It is still gonna mark a stress for you, though.
Yeah, but not much is good.
And you do feel yourself almost be lifted as this strike kind of claws tears the upper uniform portion, and you can feel 1 or 2 claws kind of hit the side of your ribs as you almost do a up and sort of a front backwards flip, and you land, kind of the wind being knocked out of your sails, but you are resilient and you are able to kind of roll over and start getting up, and you are Lieutenant Myra Lorriss, this is one of the things that you know for a fact. You have dealt with a lot of fights in your past. You can say with confidence that there have been a couple of death matches in your past, and none of them compare to what you are going to right now. You will feel this is, in your mind, this is probably a do or die moment where you will have to, because of your situation and because of your injuries, you will have to pull every trick in the book that you know in terms of fighting to win against this individual. As sort of a couple of the cliffs get struck once again, and the explosion of stone and stuff begins to hit.
All right.
Kazinthi makes
Oh,
a
sorry.
charge towards you as you put a ready stance. And how do you want to go about dealing with this individual?
Okay. Quick question: is there a possibility for me to? Oops. Sorry. Okay. Is there a possibility for me to understand the trajectory, at least, of few falling debris?
Yeah, I would say you have an advantage with an artificial eye. You're able to kind of almost know the trajectory of that.
Cool.
Because you've been watching it happen for so long.
Since he's charging at me, I do have an advantage in that we are going to see where the debris is currently might land, right? And there are those moves I don't know how dirty in martial arts, where when the opponent charges you, you like step kind of around them and redirect their way. So we're gonna give it a shot and kind of redirect the guy under one of the fallen debris, hopefully.
Okay. I will say it's going to take you at least a moment to kind of guide them there, and to do it in a way that doesn't feel artificially created. So I am
Okay.
going to have you make a fitness security roll with a difficulty of 3 once again. I'll be
Oh.
spending 2 points of threat, but this is quite literally, if you succeed on this, you will take no damage whatsoever, and you are able to guide them there. Failure, you will still guide them there, more than likely, but it will come at the cost of some of your vitality. On a complication, it will not succeed.
All right. Then let's give it a shot. Again, you said it's security and fitness and security, correct?
Fitness security this time.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. We got 5 and we got 10.
5, 10. Okay, that's still only 2. I believe you still have a die for momentum if you wish to use that.
Yep. Let's try this out. Let me just clear my table a little bit and. Oh, it's 4.
4. Okay, you were able to succeed at that, as you were able to guide that, and you kind of almost faint, like ready to get into a stance, and the moment he charges for like a lethal strike with what looks to be some sort of scimitar and lunges at you, you're able to almost grab the wrist and throw him that way using momentum and dive out of the way. You are going to have like dirt and all sorts of crap like hit your open wound as you land, but he will stand and ready to attack you again as a piece of just a foreign satellite just bisects him.
Oh, fucking yeah. Wait, quick question. I forgot. Did you say how many points of stress did I get from his last attack?
Just 1.
Just 1. Okay. I'm just writing them down just in case.
Yep.
All right. Woo! Okay. We're moving forward. We did it. We got their boss. She's gonna take like just a few moments to like stand on all fours, just breathing for a little bit, because that was tough.
Mm-hmm. And just so we know above board, so I can tell you, that vessel likely has at least 3 or 4 Kazinthi. Whether you know the fighters or just technicians, you have no idea. But there is still a crew to be dealt with, and that in itself is its own risk. Now, you could have the go back and retrieve the ensigns to have them join you, or you can continue on your own. That is your choice.
Yeah, it's better to grab the instance. I kind of wait before that. The scimitar, is it still there?
Yeah, that's still there. He didn't get
Yeah, I'm
vaporized.
gonna
He
grab
just
that.
got cut in half.
Cool. I'm gonna grab that too. And I forgot a little bit. The ensigns, how bad are their conditions?
They are not apt for a physical fight, but they could still work a phaser if need be.
Cool. Is what we're gonna do. Myra is going to turn around and wait. What if could the commotion be seen from the ship? Because it's gonna be really bad if while I'm gone the ship is like just lifts off.
Probably not. There's just the fact that there has been nothing happening in those instances. I mean, disruptor fire has happened, but there's so much chaos happening on the planet that it's likely just getting lost in the mix.
Okay, if that's the case, then I am going to return for the instance. Just in case, because we're definitely gonna need more
You
arms.
will arrive back at the cave, and the ensign's like stops short of striking you with a rock that they had found, realizing it's you. Tenant, oh my god. The other one, who is a little bit more injured. Oh my god. Are you alright?
Funny joke. Okay, I'm fine. I can move for now. We are getting that ship. I need your. You guys can still move, correct?
Not fast, but we can. I think we probably will move at the same pace, if that's any consolation.
Well, I guess that's enough. As long as you just. Okay. What I need from you, when we get to the ship, I need you to stay as firm as possible, right? You cannot show that you are hurt. I mean, even if it looks like it, you should look like you persevered. You
Right.
understand that?
I think so.
Okay. Now you get the phaser. You get the rifle, and she gives them like both, each one weapon. Wait, did the big guy have have the rifle? Yeah, I'm sorry.
He
Did the
had
big guy
a
have rifle?
he had a disruptor, a handheld disruptor, so kind of like a handheld phaser, but more of a pistol
Oh.
variant.
I'm actually gonna give them both, like one of them a disruptor, the other one a phaser, and keep the rifle for myself just in case, because again that shit's illegal, and if we're going under the tribunal, I'm gonna be the only one doing that. And the scimitar in my hand, and what Myra is gonna say is, so I want you, both of you, to be prepared to kill.
This is something that you are going to notice, Mira, and you have a wildly different experience because of life has led you a different way. But
Mhm.
you will notice their colors on their uniform are a science blue and a command red, and they're both ensigns. So likely, they have not been trained for this. So
Yeah, understandable.
This is a wild thing for them ordeal to go through.
Mm-hmm. She is going to like put she's gonna hide her injured hand because it probably looks like hell, and she's gonna put one of her hands on the science guy, like on his shoulder, and be like, listen, this is tough, I understand, but we don't know who the guys in the ship are, right? And those outside, they were ready to kill me. If they move incorrectly, right? If you see any of them being ready to do a stupid jump on you or anything, you have to shoot them. I'm sorry you have to go through this, but this is about our survival.
I understand, Lieutenant.
You two are very brave and very smart, okay? And as much as it does pain me to see you in this situation, we have to persevere. We can handle this, and then we'll handle whatever comes next. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All right. Come on. Gather your last strength. We just need to handle this. Come on. And with that, they shoot it off.
You all head to the ship, which takes less time. However, high in orbit, the USS Archimedes is still reeling after delaying the supernova event. The rest of you above kind of have dealt with this. Dr. Atherton, how are you proceeding about this? Because actually what you have seen, and you're kind of almost looking for it a little bit, you were noticing it's so faint, but you're kind of looking for things that are abnormal, and you're noticing disruptor fire.
And it is with, I imagine I am able to quickly put together that it's like within range of where
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Lorriss could probably be. Well, so what progress have I made with? If I remember correctly, I was having problems getting the transporter stabilized for the situation. Are they above ground enough for me to lock onto them?
Not quite. There's a lot of interference. But what you are able to detect also, because you're looking for abnormalities, you're also detecting a warp signature of something that similarly rings close to a Klingon warp core, on the surface of the planet, and just a quick little look could determine that this is a Kazinthi recon vessel. And even though it is a fairly small vessel, being a 2-deck ship, even for something like the Archimedes, because of how fast and nimble they are definitely considered a little bit more than a threat.
Okay. Good to know. Unfortunately, because of the order of operations that I've been given from Jaloran, that one's gonna get sent over to Kavai, because Clarice doesn't know that's directly connected to Loris. If Loris's signature comes up, then I'm going to divert focus, but for now I'm still trying to get the basically I'm playing evacuation as much as possible, getting these transporters online for people who are in buildings that are like in the middle of being that are in the middle of collapsing. I'm trying to get
going through
and government officials and shit.
quite a few of the engineers. It's truly for you, Dr. Atherton. I don't know if this comes across as rude to you or is just a full-on pain in the ass to be asked this question, but like a couple of the engineers, like, I'm sorry, Doctor, is this the right calculation?
Are those the fucking silicone dampeners I was asking for?
I mean, no, I was asking about the calculations for the transport. The silicone dampeners, I think, are, I think that's Ensign Yvain's.
I'm already looking at his fucking data. He's stuttered too much. I've moved on.
His data is almost correct. It is just like, it's like a microfraction off. But in a situation like that, that is potentially lethal.
All right. I'm just going to wordlessly correct it and let that speak for itself.
Right. I'll get Ensign Yvain over here.
All right. So Clary's currently like she is dialed in. She is in the fucking zone. She's trying to, like, basically what she figures is she's big too much. Like she's basically trying to amplify the transporters past what they can currently go to try and lock onto something that's through that much material.
Yes.
Unless I'm misunderstanding what happened last session.
Nope, you will understand correctly. But you definitely can get there, Dr. Etherton. The one thing that you have to understand is you are doing this, you are circumnavigating a lot of problems doing this. However, the way you're going about it is it will work. It will be quite successful once it's done. But you are going to basically burn out transporter rooms 1 through 4 by the end of this.
That is exactly what I was... basically, like, I am about to, like, send a note to Jalora and, like, hey, you might need to apologize to the captain in, like, half an hour. And then I'm going to move down to the transporter room to start fucking, like, basically overclocking everything in the room.
Mm-hmm. As that is going, and the chaos in the engineering room is unfolding.
But I am very much trying to keep an eye out. Like, I am in the back of my mind keeping an eye out for Loris' signature, but for now, unfortunately for Loris, because I'm not omniscient, I'm still focusing on getting, like, Jaloran's list out.
Speaking of Loris, Kavai, you had quite a connection, so where are you in this moment?
Joran had left Kavai with Atherton down in engineering to help however she can.
Yeah, you gave me a pad of information, I think?
Yeah, and I did also just forward the Kaczynski stuff if we wanted to be doing that concurrently.
Yeah, how can I help?
You wanna try and like get access to that Kaczynski?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever encountered this species before, so I wouldn't
Probably would
know
not
their
have.
system, but how hard can
I
it
mean,
be to
even
learn a
if
language
it's
on the
just, like,
fly?
Yeah, can you just like call them up, get access to their intercom? Say, hey, have you seen a doctor nearby?
Jaloran would probably just brute force hack into it because it's a ship that can be used.
Can we do that remotely?
You can potentially,
Oh, well, in that case.
but that is going. You do know about it, and you do like knowing that it's there. You will have to make a roll for it, quite obviously. But this would be a daring science roll, and it's not because of the situation that's happening on the planet so much. It is because you are trying to punch into a system, and to punch into a system like this, for the briefest of moments, it's going to be a two-way street. Like, they're going to have
Gotcha.
access to your information, you're going to have access to theirs, whether they know it or not. But
Well, I have a focus in hacking, so
can use that. This is going to be a difficulty of 3.
do we have any momentum?
That has gotten used up.
Okay. I would have to crit in order to.
You're on.
Would the ship be able to
Yes.
provide a die?
Okay.
And
Wait,
the
the
number.
ship-
Yep. For the ship, the number you would need is 13.
I'll roll for the ship.
Thank you.
If the ship is rolling, I might have something. Let me double check. It might only be when I'm rolling, but let me double check just in case.
Chat also says we could give threat, but I don't want to do that.
You don't?
'Cause I'm a baby.
No, give him threat.
I do that at least once an episode.
Yeah, that's your thing.
He's already
No, it only
pulled the
works for
threat
me, I'm
card
sorry.
twice.
I just held this up for no reason.
Tempting. Yeah, I'm gonna roll.
Okay.
Oh god, that went way too far. Hang on. I need to re-roll that because it went off my desk. What is that? I can't read. This is why I'm having eye surgery. That's a 4 and a 7.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Got a 1
What
from
is-
the ship. I don't know if that is
Shut
a credit
up.
for assistance. though.
Yo.
I'm gonna count
It
that
is.
doing this for sure, because like I have to count it because 1, it is a 1, but also because like for such an extenuating circumstance, it's nice that the Archimedes is doing something.
Productive that is not getting burnt all to hell.
I pat the console that I'm using. I'm just like, you are a gorgeous, gorgeous ship. I fucking love you.
As
So 4. So
That's
1
adorable.
momentum.
Yep. As you are able to punch into the system, as there is. You have access to the vessel now to some degree, and you are able to look into it, and the linguistics of it are not as difficult to figure out as you would have thought, because Kaczynthi linguistics that they used for those ship systems is very, very similar to Klingon.
Interesting. Okay. I only know 1 or 2 words of Klingon, but the written word's a lot easier than spoken. Okay. Going through this, scrolling.
What systems are you
What-
looking through?
I would like. I want to make sure that I'm the one who says if the ship flies or fires anything.
Okay, easy enough to do. as you are able to more or less find like certain codes and ports, you're able to kind of like a locked gate, close them off, and basically you've given yourself whereas someone on the ship might have admin access to certain things, you have the ultimate say.
Not
'Cause you have
anymore.
root access. As that happens. However, you can also kind of detect. You also have access to like ship internal systems. You are able to determine, how many individuals are aboard, what its primary mission might be, or things like that.
I'll take a peep.
There are 5 Kazinthi on board of youthful age ranges. One that is fairly elderly that you can determine. And actually, something that surprises you is as you're going through the system and you are going through, the number of life forms within this vessel increases to 3 human life signs.
Perfect. I'm gonna leave those alone. Can I find their life support system? Do they have any like gases that would knock people out? Like,
Not on hand, but you definitely, because you have control of the ship, you could definitely do that.
yeah, I'm just gonna cut off like their air supply for a bit. But not for any of the rooms where humanoids are in currently.
Got it. You eventually get a readout that the system of you don't really get the readout of like, oh, are they unconscious or not. You can only really determine it by like medical sensor and just pulse and heartbeat. And where it was kind of somewhat erratic, it is now slowed to a more mellow pace.
Cool. They can enjoy that nice calm snoozles.
As down planet side, entering the vessel, Lieutenant Lorriss.
I'm also gonna take over their music system and just play something like whatever calming that I can find.
Uh-oh. OBS is,
Oh no! Technology!
Come on. Come on, we can do it. We can get there. There we go.
Yay!
Okay. Well, I am glad that the recording still will keep that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. It's just gonna be a little weird. But regardless, as you enter in the vessel, Lieutenant Lorriss, with these ensigns, you enter fully prepared, and as the kind of airlock doors open, there are 5 Kazinthi that are unconscious and currently unmoving within the bridge of this vessel. You encountered no resistance here.
Huh? Well, oh, that's kind of awkward.
I feel, should we just...
GM,
Yes.
would it be fair to say that I could have put on a song that Myra would recognize?
Yes, easily.
Fucking rickroll her.
No, probably something like we've like listened to like from like a show or something we watched together.
Yeah, easy enough.
You put on the fucking theme song to like an anime you watched together or something?
Yes, exactly.
All Stars from Shrek.
Yes, I fucking love that song. It's absolutely that.
They watched Shrek together, and she's like,
Yeah. No, we watched Rat Race.
Oh my god. But as you were able to do that, the ensigns, as tired as they are, they kind of look at they're unconscious. And one of them, the science officer, kind of does a quick scan of the internal scan of the ship, and then presses something, and does what presume as the transporter alights, and presumably is a site-to-site transfer into the brig of this vessel.
A quick question. Myra can still hear the song playing, right?
Oh yeah. That's not gonna stop. That is ultimately for Kavai to turn off. That's just gonna be there.
As they teleport, yeah, I don't know who, but someone can the ensign probably can actually hear. Ah!
The ensign in the command track kind of fingers dance across these foreign controls and immediately comes up, and the face that both of them give truly alights a new problem for the three of you.
Okay.
They do not have flight training.
Oh no.
Oh, come on.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to fly bad.
Of course they don't.
Okay.
Does Loris not know how to drive?
No.
But remember, we all, like, before we even started the Madrid field office officially, we took everybody and taught them. Well, no, that was like an actual car, but
I mean,
the
Myra.
principle
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yes.
I will be
Can I
completely
RC
honest. Myra
this
kind
thing?
of flaked it because she's like, look at Kate.
What were you saying, Kavai?
Can I RC car this thing?
She's already in the
I
system.
I would recommend pulling in Tate to RC
Yeah.
car the darn thing.
I absolutely would.
As
but
long as you maintain
I
connection.
would like to know if it's possible.
It is possible. However, I will say this: at no point will you be able to use a control roll for this, because this is risky. This is a system you don't fully understand, a ship you have very little knowledge of, and you're going to full on just RC car it. I will let that happen, but just know this is more of a daring maneuver that has potential for wild consequences.
I'm gonna tap my badge.
I mean,
Hey,
before that
Tate.
happens. Oh, sorry. Continue. Continue.
Hey Tate, can you come down here?
On my way.
Thanks.
As you move through, the vessel is still being rocked by like shock waves, and so you're kind of getting slammed into the corridors a little bit as you head downwards in the turbo lift. And the turbo lift is usually fairly calming, but it is one of those things where you can feel every impact, and you feel like the turbo lift shakes a little bit almost before you exit. And as you head down, you see a sort of like this light holographic display of a Kazinthi recon vessel, which most of the Federation does not understand because they very rarely have access to anything like that. And I assume, Kavai, you've maybe created like your own little set of RC controls.
Yes. It's probably through their like holodeck goggles that I've like patched in. So it's like someone playing on VR.
Okay.
I have to ask: is there like a possibility of us like connecting to the ship?
Yes, there is.
Communicating somehow?
All you have to do is open the communications and hail the Archimedes. You know the Archimedes is there, and this vessel had no wish to communicate with the Archimedes, but it would be a simple.
Yeah.
It would just be a simple hail.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna ask the scientists to open the communications, because you gotta know what's happening here.
Right away, Lieutenant. And actually, Jaloran, as you're kind of going through, the crisis modes of things and dealing with different pads in, like, kind of the conference room, which acts as your own little command center because the bridge is Gomez's kind of domain, but you do get a communique from Captain Gomez. Commander Jaloran, I think you might want to be on the bridge for this.
She quirks an eyebrow, knowing full well that Gomez can't see it. On my way. And she grabs a couple pads and heads out there.
You enter the bridge and see Lieutenant Lorriss, who looks truly worse for wear. Like, she does not look great at all. She looks like she went... You're not really sure, but she looks like she went, like, 5 rounds against a warp core breach and somehow still came out on top.
I see you've been getting some practice in.
Yeah, that's long time coming, I'm guessing. We are currently on a ship, and well, you see, we're fine. We're fine, more or less. She kind of hides her arm behind her back. Yeah, we will try to fly back to you guys. Just might take a little time. None of us is well versed in flying,
I believe Kavai has already thought of a solution for that. They're headed on their way down to engineering at the moment.
Really? Kavai is the real lifesaver today.
As you almost say that, without touching anything, like the ensign pulls their hands back. Lieutenant, I didn't do anything. As the controls just kind of light up.
Am I patched into the to the vessel?
Yeah, you have to be.
Like, can I talk?
Yeah.
That's because I did, Ensign. Sit back, relax. I'll get you home.
No offense, Commander. That relaxation has left my body ages ago at this point.
Okay, well, at least strap in. It's going to be above your head.
Yeah,
I'll let
I'm
Medbay
guessing
know
that's
to be prepared for 3 more.
At the phrase strap in, because truly, the way it is set for Tate, you have the sort of holographic, like, it's not going to be the most accurate interior with these goggles, but it's what Kavai has approximated, like, this is the size of the ship, this is probably what the layout might be like. It's not going to be the most accurate in terms of, like, actual things, but
we might have to relay some instructions to the people actually there.
Yes, a little bit. But also with Tate saying, like, strap in, the ensigns kind of look around at the seats, and there's no strap.
Oh, honeys.
There's nothing there.
No basic safety equipment. Got it.
Just like us.
This is Kazinti we're talking about.
Yeah, Myra turns to the ensigns and like, they meant just hold on to something as hard as possible, okay?
That will not be difficult.
But don't stress those wounds. Still gonna take care of those later.
Right, okay. One of them
Anybody
has
else
taken,
aboard that vessel?
One of them has taken off the department shirt and has just tied it around the seat and tied around the waist as just this makeshift belt.
Smart.
One way to do it. Were there any others on the vessel when you boarded?
No. I think everyone who was there are lying unconscious? Unconscious? Probably.
They're in the brig, Commander. The brig. I don't know what the brig's like. I just transported them with what I thought was the brig.
Yeah, he did
I'll
good.
alert security.
The rest are not recoverable down there, so we can lift off. Everything's all right.
Right. As this happens, this is a daring con roll for
For me.
Tate. This is daring con, and it is also going to be a difficulty of 4,
Ooh.
and I am going to wipe out the last 4 points of my threat.
Okay. Let's see here. Let me think. Okay. We don't have any more momentum, do we?
Nope.
Now's the time to give him threat because he already spent some.
Yeah, I'm going to give you threat to gain a die of momentum.
Got it.
A die.
Mm-hmm.
Can
So
I
that's 3 die.
assist?
Yeah.
Can I? Are you able to assist with focuses? I'm not sure how stuff stacks.
I have a
We've
piloting focus.
we've got 1 momentum. Kavai's
Oh, we do? We do?
4 successes on a difficulty 3 roll, so there is
shit.
1 momentum.
Oh, cool.
Okay, then
Yeah, that's right. All right, I don't give you threat. Ha!
that's fine.
Piloting focus. Would my advisor talent come into play?
Ooh.
Yes.
So that's a reroll on 1 die.
And do I get an assist from a computer?
Yes.
Or
Yes, you would.
would the... Okay. So what would the computer have to roll? And someone roll that for me, please.
I'll roll it.
The computer on the Archimedes is a 12.
Nothing from the computer.
I mean, ideally, it's not going to come to this, but I am on hand working on the teleporters if it looks like ships are about to start exploding or careening into trees.
What was the difficulty again?
4.
I met it.
4.
Nice.
I got a 3, a 5, and a 7. And my
Awesome.
piloting focus is a 4. So
Okay.
I think
So that's a
Kabai
crit
just
in there
like
too.
leans over and like does that really annoying thing where like she just fucking slaps your arm like once everything's like safe. It's just like yes.
I'm still landing.
So that's 5 successes on a difficulty
sorry.
4. We've got our 1 momentum back.
I got 4 successes, not 5.
What's your? You said 3, 5, 7, and what's
My
your?
con is a 4.
So with you using your focus, it'd be 4 and under as a crit.
Yeah, I got a 3,
So
5, and 7.
So
Yeah,
5 and
3.
7 are 2 successes.
And 3 is 2. And 3 is 2 successes. That's 4.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
No problem.
As
I would love us to have more
Yeah.
momentum, but the dice just
I
said barely
tried.
saver.
Yep. As you head, it's kind of a weird, almost out of body experience for you, Tate, because you are seeing this simulated image and doing a little bit of like voicing through the intercom, like, okay, you actually need to like do something about the thrusters because I don't know where this actually is, and some of that does happen. And there is a moment, Kavai and Jaloran, you actually notice it the most because Jaloran, you're on the bridge and you're monitoring this kind of like through almost an over-screened graph, seeing this vessel kind of almost in a grid and dot patterns. Kavai, you notice it just through sensors, but there is a disruption as there is energy fluctuations And Tate, you notice it because Kai's programming and simulated piloting station is fairly, though not accurate, is fairly realistic for what it is, because you feel something is wrong as some of the controls spark. Jaloran, you see kind of flying across the screen. It's a very small vessel in comparison to the Archimedes, but it is fast. As it tears past a Klingon raptor that moves at a rapid pace, and there is a quick another quick energy fluctuation as there is a disruptor blast that hits the ship that Tate is piloting, and Lorriss and these two ensigns feel the impact, and presumably the Kinzinthi are probably awake now after feeling this. As that strikes, and this vessel's shields, as minimal as they were, go down. For Jaloran, you can see kind of the mark at the as it kind of twists. You can see on the ventral side of the hull a symbol that you are getting oh so tired of seeing. This multi-headed serpent or hydra. As this sort of fluctuation happens again before it appears to cloak and vanish.
So the symbol was on the Klingon ship, not the Kazinti?
Yes, it was on the Klingon ship.
Ooh.
But
She is definitely gonna file that away for later.
Yeah.
She's gonna grab any one of the things that she's gonna do as soon as she has a spare moment is grab any screen grabs, screenshots of that ship.
Yeah. I think, Jaloran, this is the thing that you notice the quickest. And it does cause you, like, to tense up for just a brief moment, because the disruptor blast from this vessel that fired scraped, like, right at the aft side of where this vessel's bridge is located. And it was intentionally meant to scrape it. It did not hit the bridge, but it kind of was there as, whether it was for the Archimedes or for you in particular or for just your team, but it definitely sends a message of they, like, these three could have easily just died.
Fun.
But the vessel, this Kazinthi stealth vessel, is also kind of a prize for Starfleet if it wasn't such a drastic situation happening here. It is about twice the size of a runabout. And it takes up a lot of space in the in one of the two shuttle bays. But Kavai,
Jaloran would have
one of the most reliefs as you get a, like, green confirmation that the vessel has landed in the shuttle bay.
Yeah, and Jaloran would have ensured that security teams and medical teams would have been scrambled and converge on that ship as soon as it's safely secured in the shuttle bay.
Mm-hmm.
With ample warning that they would need to subdue, like, medical teams are headed for the bridge to deal with our members, and security teams to go to wherever it was the Kazinti were beamed to be secured.
It was presumed that this was the brig, However, the security team will eventually inform you that this vessel had no brig, and it was in fact just a kind of a underutilized, what would be the equivalent to a Jeffries tube space.
That
I,
works.
Oh,
I
that's
hope
funny.
yeah, I hope they got bounced around and had a few concussions in there.
Yeah, that's
But they are to be escorted to the Archimedes brig post haste.
Mm-hmm.
um,
They are definitely a species that is. They are very hostile and warlike and battle driven. They are not suicidal. They will not be fighting the vast crew of the Archimedes, which, the Archimedes crew complement is just shy of 700.
You take the 100 on the left.
well, since we are already safe on Archimedes, I understood that correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mira is
you're
coming out
being
of the
taken down
ship
to
with
sick
a.
bay.
First of all, Mira is gonna come with that ship on her own two legs, screaming, "I'm hot!" and then collapse. Adrenaline is gone. She is totally, probably half unconscious right now.
Yeah. As
Well, I'm sure she will collapse right into the arms of the medics that are right there.
Oh yeah, they won't let her hit the floor. But there is
But she's heavy.
yeah. But one of the medics, with some of the people, one of the medics will come up to you, Jalon, and is like, "We have your team members."
Excellent. Take good care of them.
I will do my best, Commander. You have my word.
Thank you. And similar to Atherton, she's already moving on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm. As that occurs, there is a lot to be done here. There is a lot of evacuation that still needs to take place, but you get this just because, Jaloran, just because of who you are. There is this weird, I would say, maternal relief, where every one of my team members is now aboard and is safe, and it is at least acceptable now that I can take a breath.
Oh.
But we're gonna take a break and be back in 10 to 15 minutes. Hopefully the hotkeys will actually be okay with me. But please do hydrate and such. And we'll be right back.
Trauma. This is
Okay.
PTSD.
All right, we're back. Goddamn. So anyways, upon returning to the vessel, and you all have this moment to breathe here. You still have the evacuation, and there is eventually you do get the conversation. Finally getting an effective hail through to the colonies below. Not that they weren't aware of things, going all haywire, but you are with I would say the primary people of concern would be Commander Jaloran, Lieutenant Commander Hone, and Captain Gomez are all at the bridge, and it truly looks like a nightmare that is basically a Zoom conference call where there are just tons of different officials from different colonies on this screen. And there is a bit of crosstalk and chaos happening, as it's pretty clear, like, while they work together on the professional level. They don't work together well on the personal.
Can I just like unilaterally start like muting people?
Do you want
Joking.
to? If you
No,
think
I'm joking. This is not my place.
But one of the individuals, more of just a leader from one of the colonies. Captain, I don't know what to tell you. We only have about 6 vessels, and they don't have a high capacity. Whatever we have will be for us. We can't use it for the other colonies, unfortunately. I understand, but if you can get yourself to a... Are any of your vessels warp capable? Not heavily so. But you could get to a near star system and bring your vessels back. We'd be cutting it close. What's your maximum velocity for warp speed? Well, the fastest vessel that we have can achieve a speed of warp 2.8. Not very fast. Commander, do you believe that is worth investing time in? As they said, they'd be cutting it very close.
As long as whoever is making the return trip knows that it would be a potential suicide run.
I will pass that along, Commander, but most of these people, they might be pilots, but they are just people. They are civilians.
If they feel they don't have the confidence to make it back and do at least one more trip,
I understand. I will say for the 3 of you, this was probably the most cordial interaction that you've had thus far, aside from the other few that you've had, and you have about probably 35 to 37 more colony leaders to go through.
I would strongly recommend that if they aren't confident to make the return trip, then you, the one trip out, those ships are filled to capacity, no matter how uncomfortable.
I will pass that along and hope that my colleagues follow suit.
This is about people. Save the people. You can rebuild.
I wish it were so easy to convince most people, Commander. And you'll turn off the intercom and one of the screens will just disappear and be replaced kind of by another. But then there
So
is...
it's
Yeah.
Yet another round of trying to convince.
Yeah. And eventually you do get to a space where, Julian, you're actually getting communication from Jupiter Station.
Captain, I think I'm gonna need to take this one.
Will looks to Tate. I think the two of us can handle it for a little bit.
Tate just nods and goes, "Let's do this."
Jaloran nods and heads over to the conference room.
Conference room, and you can bring up the screen in Jupiter Station. You're connected to a port, and there is a fairly young Trill woman with the pips of lieutenant as she kind of is shouting backwards towards someone. I don't think this one works. I don't have the screen. The screen's not working. You can hear another woman's voice. We put in a work request for it. They can see you. You can't see them. Just be professional about it. Okay. Am I speaking to Commander Jaloran?
You're speaking to a doll, my dear. How is that for professionalism?
Right. So, he couldn't. He's chasing down the lead. Commander Karabai is chasing down the lead, but we figured we found something. Not important. Name is not important. Anyways, we looked into your hacking incident, and we found something a little strange. As much as that hacking incident came from a lot of external sources, it actually we pinpointed an origin for it, which is a little strange because that origin, bouncing things, that's very 21st century. Regardless, where it actually came from was Starfleet Command. We haven't told anyone in the command at all. This is direct channel between Gate and intelligence. So far, I guess Lieutenant Commander Karabayo said that it would be more wise that we just kept this one to ourselves.
And he'd be correct. Keep that very far under your hat, Lieutenant.
Right. I'm sorry, I'm a nervous wreck. I'm still trying to figure out this whole joining thing, so I'm not really sure which personality is mine and the other ones. So I'm still going through the ropes of that.
Take a deep breath, Lieutenant.
I actually hear that a lot. It came from Starfleet Command, and we looked into, I looked into it, and I realized, the vast sort of, court-martial behavior that this could trigger, as much as being also just booted and possibly put into a penal colony. I may have, hacked into the wider variations of the Starfleet Admiralty and looked into their records.
You would not be the first, Lieutenant.
Right, but here's where it gets really interesting. Commander, your mission, it doesn't give a specific timeline, but I think you know the one I'm referring to. Your mission that took place over a decade or so ago. And it went all kinds of wrong.
I know which one you're referring to.
That one, you had a team, right? But that it wasn't a large one, correct? It was a team though.
Small select group, yes.
That small select group, there were irregularities in their reports. I'm not putting this out there, and I know, Commander, back then you definitely, those were people you trusted, but I can say with confidence, one of them is your shadow player. Whether they were
My
directly
team
on
was
the
infiltrated.
whether or not they were directly on the ground or they were, you know, whether they were boots on the ground or Overwatch is I can't determine. But from what I understand, it shouldn't have left the purview outside of about 15 or 20 people.
Fewer than that.
With that being said, I don't have the know-how to determine where they are at this time, but I do know for certain that it is within that group, and hopefully that kills out a lot of potential suspects for you.
It does.
But this is not me saying this, Commander, because I don't know you very well. But Commander Caraballo is told me to advise to you, which I guess he laughed when he said it, but advised to you to not rush into things. I'm not really sure why he laughed about it, but
that pulls a laugh from Jaloran.
I feel like I'm the messenger to an inside joke.
You would be, Lieutenant.
But
you can let him know I understand.
Okay. That's all I have to report right now. If we find anything else, we'll let you know.
To follow back up on, you said you got into the records of the admirals, the command structure.
I did.
Are
Yeah.
Are you finished analyzing them?
I copied quite a bit of them. I haven't analyzed or gone through all the files, but I've made copies of them.
Let me know what you turn up.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Because I presume you got them in order to try to track down where the signal came from.
That was the idea. I feel like if I say yes, I incriminate myself.
It also gives you a chance to cover your ass. If you have reasonable suspicion that one of these admirals is the culprit for the source of that signal, that's something that you can point to. This is why I access these things.
Yeah, I've been in Starfleet for like 9 months, so this is different. I didn't realize I was going to be picked for some team.
I have every confidence you'll do really well under Lieutenant Commander Caraballo.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna continue analyzing this commander and kind of looks off to somewhere you can't see. I feel so stupid looking at a screen that doesn't work. And then you just hear another voice. I promise the intercom is not off. Maybe you want to shut that off? Oh, shit. And just clicks off.
I love them.
This is so classic. So toit.
Jaloran just takes a moment to chuckle and make the necessary notes, and then straightens up, composes herself, and makes her way back to the bridge.
Mm-hmm. As you get back to the bridge, both Captain Gomez and Tate are probably rubbing their temple as two of the leaders who clearly are like still have the concept of like aristocracy in their blood are just feuding a little bit, making things difficult, like it's gone nowhere.
All right, and at that, sorry, go continue.
And Captain Gomez looks to you, Tate.
And at that point, Tate goes, enough, you two. People are going to die. You need to fucking shut up and listen to us.
Hell fucking yeah.
Excuse me?
Excuse me.
Wrong.
You need to shut up. You need to listen to us now. So we can get most people off and so we can prevent people from dying. You having a pissing contest right now is not helping.
They will kind of slump backwards a little bit, fully realizing, because the little pissing contest that was happening, they totally forgot that they are in a fairly large call with other people that want things to go right. And they'll
Okay.
just fall silent.
Thank you for shutting up. Now let's continue. We got things to do. Captain?
Right. Order of business. How many vessels do each of your colonies have? And they'll throw up, like, the amount of vessels, and it is quickly apparent, like, the amount that potentially could be saved out of, like, this 16 some odd million. There is still, like, the number was originally predicted to be, like, 300 some odd thousand, and it only jumps to about 400,000. So it's like, that's still a lot, but comparable to like the population, it's wildly underwhelming. There is a heavy beat throughout the bridge as people realize and recognize that. Before there is a person at the science and station and security station speaks up. Captain, commanders, we're getting Federation warp signatures.
Which ships?
Couple of Sutherland class, a Nebula, few Mirandas on training missions. One of the
As they're
Constitution
rattling
classes.
off. Yeah, as they're rattling off the different classes, Delord is already moving over to a console to throw, like, to add those ships and their complement, like, size, how many people they can carry in an evac, to like adding them to the list that's already on the screen so that everybody can see it. To kind of analyze, like, okay, when we're adding in these classes, how much does that number go up?
There is another vessel that drops out of warp that is kind of unexpected. But it is a Luna class vessel. And it does have the identifying markers of the USS Titan.
Jolaren just kind of breathes a heavy sigh of relief at the sight of the Titan.
Titan is hailing us. Put it up on the screen, Lieutenant. Who is sitting at the captain's chair is not William Riker, as they are technically involved in another situation at this point in time where they would not be aboard the USS Titan. However, it is Commander Christine Vale, who looks a little tired, honestly, and very overworked. Captain Gomez and Commander Jaloran, might I say you have created a situation where I have to be in 3 places at once.
Better than being in 4 places at once.
Name the situation. I got the gist of it, but what's lacking?
Exploding star, where we were able to buy us some breathing room, but we still have a lot of colonies that need evac. Limited capacity here, but so far we've garnered some success with getting people organized, and she throws a look over to Tate. And hopefully that will speed things up, but we still don't have a lot of time. The clock is ticking.
How much time
uncomfortably fast. Under 16 hours.
Under 16 hours. Not a lot of time to work with. Alright. I've sent some other calls to vessels that can get here. They won't be able to make multiple trips, but they should be able to get here within the next 14 hours. It's cutting it close, but given that this is a crisis situation, I figured pulling in a few favors owed by Captain Riker wouldn't be underappreciated. And I figure Captain Riker wouldn't mind if I pulled in some of those favors.
I'm sure he has quite a few up his sleeve if he needs a trump card.
Well, take comfort, Commander. We might not be able to save everyone here, but we will do our damnedest. And she
That's
will
what
send
Starfleet is here for.
list of vessels that are probably going to make their way here. Where it was previously just the Archimedes, and then just a few vessels that were nearby. But if you include the vessels that are part of the colony, the vessels that have arrived, allied training, trading vessels, or training vessels being a couple of the Constitution classes, which are primarily just for cadets for training, but they are getting one hell of a training exercise now. And all of that, the number of ships that was originally going to be about 16 has massively jumped in number from 16 to about 188. And the survivability, evacuation count, it does not hit the full 6 million, but it does hit about 3.3 million.
Just about half. We can work with that.
And with some of the vessels, if they make 2 trips, which some of them are indeed capable of it, you for sure can almost guarantee close to half the population. It's still gonna suck because half of it just there's no promise there, but 50% is so much better than like the 1 or 2% you were looking at earlier.
Absolutely.
But with that, Dr. Atherton, you are down below and you are wildly, like, consuming power, as quite literally it does feel like that, like, non-essential lighting just throughout the Archimedes just disappears. And so there's just the backup lighting hits, and some of the people on the bridge are like, what the fuck was that?
I do regret to inform everybody that even though this is like a desperate, horrible situation that, you know, involves countless lives being lost and a lot of sort of stuff, the ability to play with the ship in this manner does have Clary a little giddy.
Fair enough.
The permissions she has been granted have her a little bit giggly.
We love the person with the correct priorities.
But yes, she is super serial, no jokes here, just a little bit of giggling as she's trying to save these lives.
You
Has she
will
actually
have a
gotten
couple of like the petty officers that are of the engineering track as you're kind of just giggling to yourself a little bit. They will full on just like circumnavigate you because that's fucking weird.
But is she?
Joran
Has she
just
actually
kinda-
gotten... Yeah.
Lauren just kind of looks at the lights and is like, she must be enjoying herself.
Oh, 100%. So, like I mentioned in the Discord, like everybody in Twitch chat can obviously see. Basically, the second that information that happened on the bridge gets down to Clary, assuming it does, she's going to switch to focusing on the people who are buried, since she assumes that the other, the other ships also have teleportation or warp capability, but they haven't put in the work to get through, steel and rock and shit. So she can now free herself up to focus on the more extreme cases.
Yeah.
And Joran will obviously authorize that and switch, and like whatever information has already been gathered as far as where people are located for emergency transport off the planet. She's going to filter that out to the ships as they arrive in system.
And this should go without saying, but just in case, she's gonna send a couple memos down to the med bay ward that like the percentage wise, the number of people who come in badly injured is about to increase sharply.
Yeah.
Since now I'm gonna be grabbing people who are in buildings and shit. So, but other than that. I welcome Kavai's assistance again if she frees up. Don't have much else she's doing right now.
I'm free
terrorizing the engineers on the ship still, but that's more passive than anything else at this point.
It's not even like that you've done anything. You just have an air of an authority that just is uncomfortable to them. But
I guess I'm like important question. Does this jerry rig work?
It does work. But you kind of have a monitor that basically says, 300% power, and it's like the moment that hits 0, it's gone. It's fried. But as you do that, and Kavai, you're kind of doing your own thing, kind of similarly nearby. But for you, Dr. Atherton, something that happens to you that you were not ready for is a kind of moving to do something. It almost looks for the briefest moment like your hand moves before you actually move it. And you feel this weird tearing sensation through your arm before it's just gone again.
I
Excuse
will
me?
record that with my neural interface.
Mm-hmm. However, within the Archimedes sickbay, Lieutenant Lorriss, you are finally coming to, but you are in a lot of pain.
Oh yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory.
And
Well,
hopefully
her
have
arm, her
already been
leg.
told you're not moving anytime soon.
Oh. I mean, I guess. Oh.
The chief medical officer is not present, but there is a nurse, and she is a Vulcan, so her bedside manner is totally fine.
Yeah, we love that.
I
It's
see you're
okay.
awake.
Your isn't much better. Yep. It seems so. What's going on?
Same as last time. The planet is indeed in danger. The star is about to go supernova in about 15 hours. And evacuation is proceeding at a slightly faster pace now that we have assistance. However, you should
That's-
focus more on the physical
Sorry.
health and concern yourself less with the evacuation efforts.
That's honestly, I would feel a little bit more guilty about not helping out everyone if my head didn't feel like it's on fire right now. Quick question: how are the ensigns that came with me?
They sustain fractures and minor injuries, but they will survive.
Anything permanent?
No permanent physical injuries. The psychological is not within my area of expertise.
Psychological. It should be fine. We're lucky a friend stepped in. I don't suppose you can, I don't know, quicken the pace of healing of this whole situation?
I could,
I
but I was
wouldn't
told
feel.
not to do that
Wait, who?
by the chief medical officer.
Bitch. Fine. Guess I'm just gonna have to lie here for the next, 15 hours? Just doing nothing, like an idiot.
You will not benefit this crew or this rescue effort by further injuring yourself through extenuating actions.
Big words, but I get it. Fine. I'm not gonna move. Hate being useless though. Could you give me my comm badge and preferably some sort of, I don't know, a tablet? I want to be informed at least. I promise I'm not gonna go anywhere.
I will give you a pad with relevant access as far as the comm badge. I will check in with your commanding officer.
Let's list something. Thanks.
By minimal pad with minimal access, it is truly boiled down to the most irrelevant of information. You don't have access to really much.
Oh, that's
You have access to
bullshit.
solitaire.
fucking, fucking old maid. You just fucking like there was old maid, and there is like I don't know a version of Twitter on there.
I'd go as far as to say, like, at this point, Kavai's, like, installed, like, Pokemon ROMs on everything she's able to.
Oh, that's adorable.
The going through the Vulcaners will come up to Commander Lauren. Commander Lauren,
Yes.
Lieutenant Lorriss is awake and is, as I understand, as some human colloquialisms tend to say, is fiery as ever, and asked for access to combat and a pad to stay informed. I gave in to the request for a pad, but kept it at lower decks access. As well as the comm badge, I leave that into your judgment.
I would like to remind Jalorin that if she's not provided with at least a little bit of information, Myra can and Myra will go and try to find shit out for herself.
Yeah, and Jordan is aware of that. So and she will say no to the comm badge. She will authorize access up to the level that Lorriss should have.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also going to attach a note. You are to focus on recuperation. I expect to see you remain in that sick bay until further notice.
Understood, Commander.
I don't
I'll
want to
pass
hear.
this message along.
Are the rest of us, like, hearing that she's up and about?
No, because this just happened.
Oh, okay.
Well, I wouldn't say up and about, but at least conscious. And she's just been told to stay not up and about.
Up
Gotcha.
and
Sorry,
wanting
just-
to, up and
I
wanting.
didn't have
to be
another
about.
phrase.
Just
Yeah, just like very firm instructions of like focus on your recuperation. Don't over stress yourself. You've done enough at this point.
done enough.
But to appease your need for information, like yeah, she does authorize unlocking the pad to further like what Lorriss should have access to.
Fucking like giving a child access to YouTube so they won't cry in the car.
Pretty much.
Oh my god.
We love that. We love that. Yeah.
The Vulcaners will return and hand that off and give you that access.
Joran also sends a quick ping to Kavai and Tate that Lorriss is awake. But to not overstretch her. So
I mean, Tate's on a bridge, so they probably heard you.
is she on the bridge or is she back in the conference room?
Probably back in the conference room, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's been like the main coordination hub for Jaloran. It's like whenever she's not needed on the bridge, she's in there. Which means Tate gets to run around back and forth.
That's what Tate does.
So the ping would have come over your respective pads.
Mm-hmm.
I shoot a message back to the medical bay, like whoever's in charge there, and it's just like over and over until I get a response of just visitors, question mark, and just like more question marks.
You can
Aww.
you can immediately identify if the response is from this Vulcan nurse of please stop sending messages once or twice.
frowny face.
I do not understand this.
It is now my goal in life to just annoy them.
But the answer for visitors is yes, but also, like, don't abandon your duties while doing it.
Yeah, whatever. She's like already up. Out the door.
I mean, Kate's part of the coordinating effort, so they can't go.
Mm-hmm.
Heck.
But yeah, Kavai, you eventually make it to the sick bay, and it is. You haven't really been in the sick bay, so you haven't seen the amount.
I
of work.
avoid all sick bays like the plague.
Yes, and you also have not seen this level. Like, the Archimedes sick bay is huge compared to the Hypatia or what is in the Madrid field office. It's about the size of the Hypatia's bridge. It's pretty huge. And there's a lot of activity. There's quite a few biobeds. Lorriss is closest to the doors, though, because she's
Convenient.
definitely needs to be monitored, but she's not, like, the most at risk.
It takes Kavai several minutes to even work up the nerve to go near the doors.
Aw.
Yeah. And as they walk in, you see them make like some sort of gesture, like almost like Catholic crossing of just like, this is a bad place, I don't want to be here. Like just some sort of superstitious like Orion gesture of just like, fuck this noise.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually they get up the nerve to walk in, and they would have a little like a small little parcel with them.
Okay.
And just immediately like scurrying like a little gremlin over to the side of Myra's like desk. It's like, oh, I'm so glad you're okay.
Huh?
Just like,
Whoa! Hey, look at that! That's my savior right there.
Nah.
What?
it was all Tate.
Hey,
Fortunately,
come on.
they're stuck up at the bridge.
Hey, Kavai, would it be okay if I hug you? With one hand, the other one I can't really move it.
Yeah, of course. They're like just yellow.
just kind of half hugs her as much as she can, but her hug is still like pretty strong.
Yeah, and also, you are kind of leaning over to do it. It does hurt a little bit.
Yeah, she's like, whatever, gotta hug my bestie.
You just get like just a wave of like more queer panic. But so much relief that you're okay.
Myra backs off, like blushing
Very
a little
bubbly.
bit. Yeah, well, okay. She kind of wipes her cheek because it feels a little warm now. All right. Yeah, but you shouldn't really sell yourself short. The way that we walked in and everyone was out, it was really brilliant, you know?
Oh, to be honest, it's a tactic I stole from my old man.
Hey, you know, what's they used to say? In love and war, everything's cool, I guess. So just don't worry about it.
Nah.
Hey, you saved my life.
You should have seen what Tate did. I give her like the play-by-play.
Yeah.
But then I just sort of shake my head. Oh, I brought you this. And she gets like a very conspiratorial expression across their face. And it's like whatever sort of like treats or little candies or little goodies that like are usually forbidden from having like around like in like hospitals or whatever. Like it's just
Aw.
all the little snacks you're not supposed to have when you're in recovery. They're
That's
there.
so cute.
And they're uncharacteristically like, I don't want to say like floral, but like very like cutesy in comparison to like the sort of like gifts or treats that Kavai would normally like give.
Aw. That's really nice. Thank you. It's gonna really help me with my morale. You know?
I figured.
Yeah.
Sucks
You know me
having
really
to
well.
be sick and stuff. So
There is
Especially in this
a,
situation.
Yeah, as you're conversing, there is a, you almost don't recognize them after they've been cleaned up, but, one of the ensigns, has kind of like, sort of like a crutch and is kind of moving a little bit, but, and kind of looks towards you, Lieutenant Lorriss. I've been given temporary quarters, Lieutenant, but I do want to say, from both of us, actually, we do want to say thank you.
Huh? Oh, it's you!
Yeah.
Hey! I'm glad to see you okay. And don't worry, it's not that much of a big deal.
It very much is a big deal, Lieutenant. You fully did that knowing that you were going to get left behind, so we appreciate that.
Oh, you know it's worth it. I just felt like I had to, you know? I couldn't just leave you two behind. Especially not when you're so green. You got so much time to leave.
I give a look at that. What the fuck does that mean? Green. Hello?
Listen, she is. Oh God, wait. They meet. I'm sorry. The side tangent. They meet eyes, and Myra realizes what she said, and she's like,
The ensign is seeing this weird tension and is going to hobble away as fast as humanly possible.
I catch them before they leave. I had another small, more formal, like little get well gift for them as well. I did
Aww,
not forget them.
that's so sweet.
I appreciate it. I'll pass it along to the other one. We're actually gonna... I think we have shared temporary quarters.
Oh, good. Feel better soon. Just a very warm smile.
Well, I'm upright and breathing, so I think that's already 100% improvement.
For the fuck enough.
But they will leave sickbay. And I think this sort of delicate moment kind of hangs because there is all this chaos happening and there is such heavy stakes that are occurring. But it's almost interesting the way that it's almost melodic, and Kavai, even you kind of can sense this. There's a lot of emotion that is around that you can pick up on. But the sound of like the medical devices chirping at like an almost melodic pace can be heard, and all these conversations that you are aware are happening, but they're almost muffled as right now it's just existing in this space. And I will say, as that scene kind of pulls out,
I do have one tiny little note before.
go for it.
I make sure everything's all nice and cheery and good with Myra. But I definitely have to leave in not a rush. I make sure to present an air of calm as I'm leaving. I don't want to upset people. But I think I make it back to whatever temporary quarters that I've got, and I absolutely have a panic attack.
Yeah.
Aw.
But that sort of delicate moment and leaving that. This is a day, and you've had a moment of reprieve, knowing full well that everyone is doing their part and doing their best. And we're just gonna. Escavai is kind of trying to ground themselves in that moment.
It'll be okay.
We are going to end the episode there.
I love this game.
And just so everyone's not too surprised, I did say that this game was going to take place in sort of real time in some variations with some jumps here and there. So the next episode, when that comes out, when we stream that, 6 hours will have elapsed. But that's the only amount of time that will have elapsed.
Fascinating.
However,
Absolutely.
also, as a note for everyone, there won't be a game this upcoming next Saturday either, because it is the last Saturday of the month, and also given what weekend it is, it's just too chaotic. It just is. So we won't be running a game then, but we will be back the week following, continuing with this story. But I believe our favorite phrase is, of course, for this night, for a moment, for a time. We truly hope we've been a little bit of R&R for all of you. So we will see you all next time.